we have been discussing the premise that Guru Nanak redefined in a revolutionary way all the spiritual concepts that existed for thousands of years before him. The metaphorical depiction of that premise is that Guru Nanak's portrait of Sikhi was painted over an existing canvas, a canvas that had existed for 4,000 years prior to Guru Nanak. The implications of the premise are twofold. First, that while all the concepts of the old canvas are mentioned in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, they have been given new meanings. And two, if we intend to appreciate the Sikhi of Guru Nanak, we will need to understand the new or redefined meanings, or what we call the Gurbani meanings of the concepts as contained within the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. In parts 2 and 3 of this video series, we examined how Gurbani had redefined the concepts of death and afterlife. In today's short video, we will look at the concept of 8.4 million life forms, or 84 lakh June. Let's begin by examining the basic principles of the 4,000-year-old canvas pertaining to 8.4 million or 84 lakh. The primary argument is that the total count of life forms on earth is 8.4 million in number. Upon Judgment Day by Dharmaraj in the afterlife, the departed soul is said to be ordered to go through these 8.4 million life forms. The new physical form the soul acquires in its next life is determined by an accounting of one's deeds while living the human life before death. The soul may take the form of a cat, a rat, a snake, a cow, a swine, or the mighty crocodile, as determined by Dharmaraj. Once the 8.4 million cycle is completed, the soul comes back in human form. Now, these details are contained within the Saveta Savartar Upanishad, an ancient Sanskrit text. The chilling details of this cycle, never traveled by anyone ever, were contained within numerous concepts in the old canvas. All this about a cycle that no one has traveled and no one has come back to file a report on, that no one really knows anything about, but presented as a religious fact and a religious truth and believed as real by millions. What is most chilling is that this narrative of the 8.4 million drawn from the 4,000-year-old canvas is the exact one that is presented by our clergy, our Granthis, our Ragis, our Pracharaks and our Kirtaniyas in our Gurdwaras as Sikhi beliefs. Our Granthis, Ragis and Kirtaniyas sing Shabads from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji during the death ceremonies of our loved ones, but present narratives derived from the Upanishads to our Sangats. In short, it's Kirtan of Gurbani, but discourse of the 4,000-year-old discarded canvas. Search the social media and you will find countless individuals dressed as Sikhs and claiming to be Sikhs, quoting Gurbani verses even, but pushing the narratives of the Upanishads in their misguided proclamations that Guru Nanak accepted the beliefs of the 4,000-year-old canvas and wanted us to accept them as Sikhi beliefs. The outcome is a bleak one. The narrative that is held within the psyche of a vast majority of Sikhs is not the narrative of Gurbani, but that of the 4,000-year-old canvas. And this vast majority of Sikhs mistakenly think and accept and believe the narrative of the discarded canvas pertaining to 8.4 million to be the narrative of Gurbani. Nothing can be further from the truth. So what is the narrative of 8.4 billion life forms within Gurbani? We can develop the basic principles by examining some verses that discuss the concept. The first thing that Gurbani does is to debunk the notion that the total number of life forms is 8.4 million. To begin with, no one can or has done the counting. And those people whose business it is to count life forms, namely the scientists, the biologists, the zoologists, they have gone way beyond this minuscule 8.4 million and are still counting. The verse in Gurbani on page 237 is illustrative. Pas pankhi anak jon jindu sagal pasar disa pasara bens jaego sagal akara. The word being used is anak, which means countless, which means beyond count, which means innumerable. Anakajon means countless life forms. The words Pasapankhi tells us that the reference is to the animal kingdom. Here is another verse. Kai kot janme jive mare, kai kot baujoni fere. The phrase kai kot means multitudes. It means countless. Baujoni fere means countless life forms are in existence. So it's clear. Gurbani does not accept the 8.4 million limiting count as a fact. And there is a reason for this, which is that the creator cannot be limited, cannot be boxed in within numbers and counts. 8.4 million may have sounded a huge or even a near infinite figure 4,000 years ago. But as far as Gurbani is concerned, it is a minuscule number, a tiny figure. The creator of Gurbani is beyond fathom. The creation of the creator is equally beyond fathom. It cannot be put into numbers, certainly not concocted numbers. This is why when it comes to putting down the Gurbani belief as to how many life forms there are in creation, Gurbani uses the word kod and anek, meaning multitudes, meaning uncountable, meaning beyond fathom, etc. Consequently, when 84 lakh is mentioned in Gurbani, it is mentioned as the pre-existing concept, as the 4,000-year-old belief of afterlife, a belief that is not subscribed to by Gurbani, a belief that is critiqued in Gurbani, a belief that goes contrary to the belief of Anek and Kod of Gurbani. 84 lakh in Gurbani is mentioned as the belief that needed to be redefined and is redefined within Gurbani to fit the canvas of Guru Nanak, the canvas of life, the canvas of the here and now. So this, in essence, is the first primary difference. The old canvas says the total number of life forms is 8.4 million. Gurbani says no one has counted and no one can count. Gurbani also says that the creator cannot be limited to any fixed number, and Gurbani therefore rejects this fixed figure. There is a second critical difference, and this relates to the issue of the 8.4 million life forms in the afterlife. Now, the first thing Gurbani does within the repainted canvas is to undertake a revolutionary redefining of the concept of Junes, of life forms itself. Guru Nanak's canvas redefines life forms. Gurbani anchors the notion of life forms, the notion of Junes, into the here and the now. Gurbani plants it firmly into the life that we have in the here and the now. Gurbani grounds the 8.4 million notion into our present life and not something that exists in the afterlife. This is the second critical difference. This is the crux of the revolutionary and innovative redefining. The following verse from page 1356 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji makes this clear. Gur mantar heenas jo prani, trigant janma prishtana, kukra, sukra, gardaba, kaka, sarpana, tulkhala. The second verse contains mention of a number of animals. Kukra, Sukra, Gardaba, Kaka and Sarpana. Kukra is a dog, Sukra is a pig, Gardaba is a donkey, Kaka is a crow, and Sarpana is a snake. Now, all of these are edible life forms. If we look at the first verse, we see the redefining in the clearest of terms. Of key importance in verse 1 are the terms Jo Prani, which means that human being, a certain kind of human being, a human being with a certain type of a mental state. Jo Prani means a living person with a certain mental makeup, a human being with a certain kind of a mindset. But what kind? The verse says, Gor Mantarhinas, meaning one who discards the Guru's advice, one who rejects the Guru's messages. Mantar, by the way, Pyareo, comes from the Sanskrit word mantri, meaning advisor, or what we call a minister these days. Gor Mantarhinas Jo Prani therefore means that person, that individual, that living human being who ignores the Guru's spiritual advice. Then we have this phrase, Triganta Janama Parishtana, which means that individual who ignores the Guru's advice is wasting one's life, squandering his or her life. Then we have the word Khala, which refers again to a human being, an ignorant human being, one who is not only squandering one's life, but wasting it in complete ignorance, Khala. The reference is clearly to our present life, life as being lived in the here and the now. Then there is the word Tola, which means akin to, which means just like, comparable with. So the meaning of the verse is human beings, Jo Prani, who discard or reject the Shabad Guru's advice, waste their lives, squander their lives, their present lives, their lives in the here and now by living it akin, just like Kukra, Sukra, Gardaba, Kaka, Sarpana. They live it akin to these animalistic mindsets in ignorance and in disregard of the Guru's spiritual advice. So Kukra, Sukra, Gardaba, Kaka and Sarpana, dog, pig, donkey, crow, snake are not life forms in the afterlife, but they are mental states. They are states of the mind left by us in the here and the now. Here is another verse of Guru Nanak from page 832 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji along the same lines. Sukar Swan Gardab Manjara Pasu Malesh Neech Chandala Gurte Mo Fere Ten Jona Pavaya Bandan Bandya Aya Jaya. The phrase Gurte Mo Fere then refers to us human beings who turn our backs on the messages of the Shabad. What happens to human beings who do such? We either fall back on or acquire mindsets of Sukar, Swan, Gardab, Manjara. We acquire animalistic mindsets. The greed of a dog, Swan, the arrogance of a donkey, Gardab, the cowardice or the timidness of a cat, Manjara, and demonic mindsets, Malesh, Neech, Chandala. The mention of animals, Sukar, Swan, Gardab, Manjara, are meant to reference the mindsets of human beings. Gurbani is meant for human beings, certainly not for those in the animal kingdom. It needs to be made clear that Gurbani is not critiquing the traits and behaviors of animals. Animals are instinct-based. There is nothing wrong with those instincts because they define the animals concerned. The critique is against human beings with a mind, human beings with an intellect and a capacity to know, but still choose to define their humanity in terms of animalistic traits. Here is another verse from page 1418 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Jinna Satgur Purkhna Seveo Shabdana Kito Vichar Oe Manas Jonana Akhiya Pasu Tor Gavar. Meaning, those human beings who have not realized the Creator within, Sadgur Purkh na sevyo, and have not contemplated on the messages of the Shabd na kito vichar. The Guru says, of such beings, I consider them not as living the human life form, oe manas joon na yakhiyan, but living the life forms of animals, pasu, tor, gavar. So again, the pasu of Gurbani is not the 8.4 million supposed life forms in the afterlife. Pasu in Gurbani refers to mental states, states of the mind lived by us in our life. They are mindsets of us human beings in the here and the now. Here is another verse from page 167 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Ann khana, kappad pehnan diya, ras ann pogani, jen diye so chetna avai, pasu hon kar jani. The first verse refers to the Creator blessing us with life and the needs of life. Ann khana, kappad pehnan diya, ras ann pogani. These are all the blessings pertaining to life and the needs of life. The second verse talks of a state of being that is not in appreciation of the Creator as the giver of all this. Jen diye so chetnayavai. The next part, pasu hon kar jani, means I have reduced my life, my human life, to that of a pasu, an animal, in such non-appreciation. Again, the reference of pasu is not the 8.4 supposed life forms in the afterlife. It refers to one's mental state, to our state of the mind lived by us in the here and the now. Pasu hon kar jani. This verse of Guru Nanak on page 156 makes the notion of 8.4 million as redefined in Gurbani even clearer. Mere sahiba, kaun jane gun tere, kahe na jani, augan mere rahao. Kete rukh birk hum chine, kete pasu upaye, kete naag kuli mein aaye, kete pank udaye. The first verse, Mere sahiba kaun jane gun tere, is about the Creator's divine virtues, gun tere. The second verse talks about our vices, my human vices, kahe na jani, augan mere, my vices filled mindset. Guru Nanak is saying both divine virtues and my vices are equally innumerable. In the next two verses, Guru Nanak provides examples of our vices. Kete rokh berk ham chine, kete pasu upaye, kete naag kuli mein aaye, kete pank udaye. All of these examples are life forms. Rokh, berk, pasu, naag, pank, trees, vegetation, animals, snakes, birds. It is clear that these examples of life forms refer to our mental state of mind lived by us in the here and the now. In other words, a human life filled with vices, a human life being lived out with animalistic mindsets, a human life lived in animalistic traits. Here is yet another set of verses from page 802 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Uj apar Beyant Swami kaun jane gun tere, and pasu paret mugd ko tare, pahan par utare. Of such immense divinity are your virtues, O Creator. Uj apar Beyant Swami kaun jane gun tere. Why are they so immense? How are they so immense? The next verse answers that. Pasu, animals, pret, demons, pahan, stones, all of these become divine. All of these reach their spiritual goals par utare. That is the immenseness of your virtues. As said above, Gurbani is not for animals, not for demons, not for stones. Animals, demons and stones do not have spiritual goals. Human beings alone do. So what is the message of Gurbani here? It is about mindsets. The message is for humans with unenlightened mindsets, Mogad, for humans with animalistic mindsets, Pasu, for humans with demonic mindsets, Pret, humans with hearts and mindsets as hard as stones, rocks and boulders, Pahan. All of these can and do become divine through the acquisitions, Jane, of divine virtues, Jane Gun Tere. This verse of Guru Arjan on page 267 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji makes it crystal clear. Kartoot pasu ki manas jaat. The life form is human, manas jaat. But the character, the deeds and the traits, kartoot, are animalistic, pasu ki. The reference of Pasu is not the 8.4 billion life forms in the afterlife. It refers to our Pasu Puna, to our state of the mind. It refers to our animalistic character, our deeds as lived by us in the here and the now. Here is a verse that ties all that we have said above. It is on page 190 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Gaudi Mahalla Panjma. अनक रसा खाए जैसे ढोर, बोह की जैवरी बांधे ओ चोर, मृतक देह साध संग बेहुना, आवत जात जोनी दुख खीना रहाओ. Meaning, indulging in and drowning in temporal life, अनक रसा खाए, is akin to living an animalistic life, जैसे ढोर. The word ढोर means an animal. Living such and without spiritual realization, sad sang behuna, is to have suffered death, mirtak de. The word mirtak means death. The aftermath of spiritual death is the cycle of animalistic mindsets, avat jat joni, and suffering, dokakina. It is clear that the death being referred to in this verse is spiritual death, mirtak de, which is the concern of Gurbani. It is a death that happens in the here and the now while we are alive. It is also clear that the animalistic life forms, Jaise Tor, being referred to in this verse, are mindsets of ours while still alive. It is also clear that the cycle of life forms referred in this verse, Avat Jat Joni, are cycles that happen to us in the here and the now. And the suffering, Dokakina, is the suffering in the here and the now, not in some unknown realm of the afterlife. Bhagata Kabir on page 870 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji tells us to bring to life the humanity within us and eliminate the animalistic mindsets, animalistic characters and deeds within us. The set of verses is as follows. Naru mare, nar kaam na aave, pasu mare, das kaaj savare. Apne karm ki gat, main kya jano, baba re rahao. The rahao verse has the words apne karm ki gat, meaning this is the state of affairs, ki gat, of my deeds, apne karm. The state of affairs is that when the human in me dies within me, naru mare, the consequence is that I become of absolutely no worth and no use to other human beings around me. Naru mare, nar kaam na aave. However, when the animal kingdom within me dies, pasu mare, then I become useful to humanity by up to tenfold. Das kaaj savare. Again, the reference of Pasu is not the 8.4 million supposed life forms in the afterlife. It refers to our state of the mind, to our character, our deeds as lived by us in the here and the now. That is why the Rahau verse is apne karma ki gat, meaning this is the state of affairs of my deeds. Essentially then, Pyareo, what is happening in Gurbani is the redefining of the 8.4 billion life forms concept from one that is physical and external to one that is internal, to one that is a mental paradigm in the form of character and mindsets. This is revolutionary redefining. It is revolutionary because Gurbani anchors the notion of life forms, the notion of Junes, into the here and the now. Gurbani plants it firmly into the life that we have in the here and now. Gurbani grounds the notion of Junes and life forms into our present life and not something that exists in the afterlife. In doing so, it throws out the concept of 8.4 million that refers to life forms that the soul, any soul, supposedly goes through in the afterlife or in the after death. What is being said by all the verses that have been presented above is that there is a zoo within us, inside of us. The zoo is within us as human beings, as unenlightened human beings. The zoo is inside us as we are alive in our here and our now. One of France's greatest minds of the 1800s, Victor Hugo, put this idea this way 300 years after Guru Nanak gave it to the spiritual world. This is what he said: all animals are found in men, and each of them exists in some men, sometimes several at a time. This is a graphic depiction of what Hugo said. Animals are found in men, within men, men who are kicking and alive in the here and the now. Hugo also said something else. He said, nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Guru Nanak presented us with powerful, innovative, new, novel and original ideas pertaining to spirituality. Guru Nanak presented us with a spirituality whose time had come, a spirituality for the 21st century. Now, the sad reality is that for a large majority of Sikhs, the time for Guru Nanak's ideas has not come and may never come. For a large majority of Sikhs, Guru Nanak has yet to be born into our lives. For a large majority of Sikhs, we are still living the spirituality of 4,000 years ago. Perhaps the desire to live this 4,000-year-old canvas is why we have prevented the birth of Guru Nanak into our spiritual lives. We can, of course, change this in our lives by acknowledging that the time for Guru Nanak's Sikhi has come. We can change even if our clergy, our Granthis, Ragis, Pracharaks, Kirtaniyas and our Gurdwaras won't allow us to change. Our clergy have a reason to not change and not allow us to change and to not preach the truths of Gurbani. It is in their interest to keep us imprisoned within the discarded 4,000-year-old belief system. They are heavily invested in the old canvas. Their livelihoods and their fake positions as agents of their concocted God depend on that canvas being kept alive. But we Sikhs, ordinary everyday Sikhs, wanting to inculcate the truths of Gurbani in our daily lives, we have no reason to not want to change. Pyareo, when you start living the spirituality whose time has come, you stop living the spirituality whose time has run out. When you stop living the Gurbani discarded narratives of the old canvas, you start living the truths of Gurbani. When you stop chasing the spirituality of life after death, you start living the spirituality of the here and the now. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. The next video, part 5 of 12, will examine the concept of reincarnation. We will attempt to provide the new, redefined and Gurbani meanings as outlined within the 1429 pages of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Please continue to join me in this discovery of Gurbani concepts as contained within Guru Nanak's canvas.